registration for this month's free Zodiac monthly is up. You guys want a chance to win gem deck box, some gem related product, I will leave a link down below for you guys to get in. And we're doing TCG plus OCG card pull with the current updated TCG ban list from February 7th. So you're completely free to play, by the way. Super easy. Just comment on the thread down below and it'll get you guys entered in. Don't be like the 33.8% of you guys that have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get to 101,000. So the first list we're going to be looking at here is Terry Miller's Phantom Knight list. And I can't say that I'm super excited to look at these, but this is going to be your new encompassing meta tyrant for the format here. We already saw that this deck pretty much dominated the top cutscene here, and you got to give it to the Scythe Lock, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely crazy powerful. The fact that you could just set up and win a game so free based on the premise of that, it should be no stranger to you guys to see that this deck will continue to be a dominating powerhouse here. Also remember that this is pretty much similar to the first place deck here. We were actually not even playing the Draco back in this deck, all right? I have seen that a couple of these builds have strayed away from the approach of considering that, which is actually quite interesting. Outside of that, I think that's really the only real niche thing here that kind of catches me off guard is the fact that we've just chosen not to play Draco back and found success with it. Next up here is the Synchro Turbo package that we're kind of starting to see Sword Soul generate towards. Rorodon is a heck of a card, ladies and gentlemen. Being able to just climb up into any Synchro board that you really need to access for free is absolutely amazing. Plus, it's just a couple of extra additions into the deck. Like, you incorporate a Despot into your deck, you're effectively good to go for the rest of the matchup here. All right, next up here, we have, this is Brave Lich, actually. So Anthony Cullen here took the challenge and said, you know what, I got 2 Fusion Destinies, I can still make things happen. We're playing 2 Golden Lord. The interesting thing on this list is we've actually incorporated the Lancias into this deck because it is not fun to play against our good friends, the Banished from the Graveyard, aka Phantom Knights. A well-timed Lancey against them should pretty much slow down their turn. You're going to cut off some pretty big advantage engines there. I also see down here that our side deck is massively built to be unfun. Between the TC Boos, the Evenlies, the Hobble Golems, this whole deck is just going to be board breaker central post side decking, and that's what I really like to see. I will say that I've played this deck a little bit, you know, before Fusion Destiny went to 3, and I will say that I really genuinely enjoy what this deck can do in terms of those break-a-board scenarios. Next up here, we actually have Despia, and this is Despia Invoked, actually. I actually didn't think that I would see a Despia list so far, honestly. Seeing that this is all pre-branded Fusion here, honestly, okay. We still have, so we're using the Invoked engine to generate advantage, along with the Despia engine, just kind of generate the rest of the deck. Interesting. So this deck is possible to work without the inclusion of the Brave engine, or the new package. Okay, well, I can't really say anything else about this. Once we get the rest of Albaz, I think that this deck will stand a little bit better. Yeah, it'll be way better. But all right, interesting enough here. Consistently pulling this off too. Next up here, we actually have the other Invoked list, and this looks a lot more standard for what we're used to. We have the Prosperities for filtering. We have the Mystic Mind, one Mystic Mind, by the way, to slow down the opponent here. Double Fusion Destiny, that's all basic standard stuff. Outside of that, Royal Decree's in the side deck. That's kind of saucy. I really like that. Okay. Is Royal Decree actually that viable this format? I'm not too sure. Next up here is the other Eldlich portion. So you have two Eldlich variants now. You can go down the I want to set my entire board and laugh at the opponent, or you have what was the previous Fusion Destiny package that just kind of let you set up and do things here. This particular variant is probably the best way to go about this. Double Golden Lord versus 3 is really up to you. I see they're playing the White Destiny in here, of course, for the revive, and 2 Cursed Eldlands I think is the best way to go about it if you're going to choose to play Eldland. Honestly, outside of that, Ice Dragons, all that other fun stuff, easy stuff. Then we have the Solemn Judgments wrapped on into the side deck here to kind of bring it all together. Truthfully, Gozen Match is going to be your best option too for this deck. I don't know, this deck is very scary once it gets off the ground, ladies and gentlemen. I think you'll be very, very, very sad when you play against this. Alright, next up is Madolche. Holy crap. Vin Nuya in the air said, you know what, I'm going to show the world that we can do something here. We got dimension shifters in this bad boy, which should just successfully end an entire player's turn once it resolves. I feel like you just kind of tear the game upside down once that resolves. We also have Gammas in here and Nibiru's, and we also have the inclusion of the Skullmeister in here. Holy crap. And Imperms. We were hand trapped out of our mind at 41 cards here. There is so much encompassing here in terms of what you can do with board break here. And you have the Mystic Minds to access in the side deck here so that you can tear the opponent apart. What a mad lad in terms of a build. I actually haven't seen a good crazy Madolche list in a while, but I think that this is actually something that you can pick up with and find success with, ladies and gentlemen. Madolche making top cut. That is quite impressive. Next up here is another rendition of the Virtual World Combo Synchro Turbo package. And basically, you use this to kind of capitalize, build a board. You guys notice that these synchro packages are just expanding. All right, how can Auroradon here have become the backbone of some of these strategies? I mean, once again, you just saw a Virtual World list making it into top cut as well. All right, into top 4. I think it was getting second place at this tournament too. So the fact that you have 2 versions of this deck just doing well really does say something. All right, the format is shifted to the point that you can find success with the synchro package. All right, if we had some of the other cards that the OCG had, the other interesting thing about this list is we're not playing Destrudo. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Destrudo would have been probably a little bit better. A nice little roundup to this, but it looks like we don't need it here. Next up here, we have another Phantom Nihilist. Yay! Double Fusion Destiny, of course. Droplets in here for board breaking. I don't see anything else really too strange down here. Gammas and Lancias and Nibiru's. We hard side into hand traps here. So it looks like the goal of this build is we're going to pressure our opponent really, really hard. Outside of that, I don't see anything that screams to me too degenerate in this list. Next up, here's another Phantom Knight list. How many of these Phantom Knight lists are going to surface, man? I don't see... Okay, so standard break package. Only 2 right of Armezia. Maybe they didn't have access to a third, because, be honest with you, that stuff can get very expensive over time. But, quite honestly, yeah, when I tell you guys that these decks look very standard, I mean, how many E-Tellies do you want to play? All right, like, you really have easy routes ahead of you here. Next up here is Invoked Red Eyes Dark Dragoon Eldlich deck. So we get Makaba to kind of be our boss monster, set up those negates so we can do our thing. On the opposite side of the equation over here, we get the Eldlich spells and traps so we can laugh at our opponent and go for full disruption here, all right? And then in the back corner here, we bring in the Dark Dragoon here to be able to dump it off and make it via Verte Anaconda. How consistently good is this 45 pile of cards? Well, I mean, it got 15th place. You can't be too crazy, like, excited about that. But truthfully, I think that there is something to be had with this, ladies and gentlemen. I do think that there is potential here. Maybe some overall revisions to the list could be a little bit better. But with that being said, though, it did get into top 16 out of 200 players, so the idea itself can't be too horribly bad. And then 16th place here was Tri-Brigade. Oh, look! Try out here still doing stuff. I see that we're playing one Cerberus, actually, the Fable monster. Huh. So is that just like a little mini extender for this deck to kind of get off the ground? What's going on there? I also see here that we have cats built into the deck. I don't see anything really too crazy out of the ordinary here, ladies and gentlemen. Though the Herald in the side deck is kind of interesting. Okay. Unsure. But okay, that kind of wraps up PPG's top list here. I know I question mark things a little bit, but it's definitely interesting. So guys, what do you think about things? Please leave a comment about what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on the day with some more cool awesome content. You guys stay safe. All right, peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.